everybody for joining us today for this webinar. I would like to introduce one of our new partners in the region. The company is called Booxi, and we are lucky to have today with us Nicolas Belliveau, based in Canada, and he's going to tell us on how to use the solution and how we can help creating lasting loyalty through the solution. So thank you and welcome, Nicolas.
Well, thank you, Stéphane. Hello, everyone, and it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for tuning in. So yeah, my name's Nicolas, or Nick. I'm the head of marketing at Booxi. And today, I wanted to share with you some strategies retailers can use to really personalize and elevate their customer experience in an effort to, well, like Stéphane said, create lasting loyalty. So because we're talking about personalization, I first wanted to see who is here with us. I think today we're in an intimate group, but if you're watching in the replay, I hope this will speak to you. So we'll launch a little survey right now just to see from which vertical you represent, whether that might be luxury, fashion, electronics, cosmetics, home, sporting goods, just so I could adapt the use cases that we'll be discussing today a bit. So I see some answers coming in. We have mostly luxury. Perfect. Well, that is a great answer because we will be talking about luxury today. So as we all know, retailers are really competing to offer the most relevant experiences to their customers. It's becoming a battle less of products, but really more of how you can make the customer feel and what engagement you can create with your customers to have a lasting impression and really, create that loyalty. So when we think of personalization, what generally comes to mind is e-commerce personalization. This has become extremely popular over the last couple of years. Brands are now extremely good at e-commerce personalization. But today I want to take a different angle because e-commerce has become oversaturated and it reaches its limits to a certain extent. So we have personalizations of homepages, seeing how to personalize offers based on browsing habits, recommending products based on what has been purchased in the past, or sending back in stock notifications when a customer was browsing a product, but they didn't have it in a certain color or a certain size. So today I want to focus on personalized services. So the human layer of personalization, really the base and the foundation of commerce from centuries ago, right? Think about a mom and pop shop and how the experience you have is ultra personalized to you. Or even if you go to the same barber shop once a month, you get to know your barber, they know you, you want the same thing. It's an extremely personalized service and a relationship is built. That's what I want to focus on today. And that's how I want for retailers to imagine, even at scale, how you could personalize services. So what is a personalized service in the context of retail? Well, it's a one-to-one service, whether in store or online, and it can be free or paid. So if we think of fashion or even luxury, you have personal shopping, you have expert consultations when you're looking for a specific product, either at a high price point or that's a rather complex path to purchase and you're seeking for advice. You want an expert to be able to guide you to the right product or service. You have paid services here in cosmetics, for example, where you might get a beauty treatment. You have remote selling, so similar to an expert consultation, but virtually, or it could be personal shopping virtually. ROPIS, so that you have that personalized advice in store after reserving your products online, and various after-sale services. These are only a few examples, but really core pieces that we see a lot of retailers using in terms of personalized services. So when we think of these, and well, a lot of people on the call today are luxury retailers, it makes sense, right? That personalized services are generally aimed towards luxury. We hear this quite often when a more mid-market or value type retailer says, you know, personalization, appointment scheduling is not for me. That's really more for premium or luxury brands, right? Well, wrong. Um, you know, it could work for a ton of different brands. It's really a strategy that could apply if used creatively, and that's what I want to show you, because we would think that it wouldn't apply for a dollar store. However, there's a brand in the US named Five Below that came up with a really creative way to leverage appointments as a strategy and introduce personalized services. So the brand is Five Below, and they offer ear piercing. So I'll tell you about a bit about this brand if you don't know them. As the name suggests, they sell all their products for under $5. Their core audience is 12 to 17-year-olds, and they wanted to find a way to engage their young clientele in an original way and drive them to store. Well, in this age segment, generally people are getting their first ear piercings with prices generally around $60 to $80 US. And they figured, well, if we could offer it for $5, that's a great value proposition. It's something that their clients are interested in, and it brings them to store to discover their brand universe. It's an extremely creative strategy. They sell the service, and then the customers are in store to discover the brand and maybe pick up a few products while they're there. And it creates a lasting memory, right? The first time you get your ear pierced, I never have, but I could imagine the first time you get your ear pierced, it's something you really remember. And that's what this brand is trying to create that lasting loyalty, at least as a first start. Another great example, one of our clients, Mondu, which is a pet retailer, a pet product retailer here in Canada. They offer a couple of services, namely a doggy wash. So if you live in an apartment and you have a larger pet, it might be tricky sometimes to give them a bath or give them a wash. So here they're offering a high value service, which is the ability to rent out space within their store where they have a dedicated clean zone with these large tubs to be able to clean your furry friend. And you're able to reserve this for free for when you're part of their fidelity club, and you're able to bring your pet and give them a bath there. Obviously, while you're in store, you might want to buy your dog a treat. You might need to restock on some dog food, or maybe you need some soap to be able to, some shampoo for the treatment while you're there. So you have all the products in one space, and you're able to, do this thing that you just don't have space for at home. It's really aligned with their brand DNA. They also have a nail clipping service. This time that's paid, but once again, generally that's done at vets or more grooming salons. Well, here it's actually the retailer offering that service as really as an all-in-one solution for the products, but also services related to your pets. Another example is at-home visits. So this is a optician in France, Optique 2000, that's very, I think, a great example for retailers in the Middle East, because I know at-home visits, there are something that are quite popular. So at-home visits here, in this case, for selling glasses, to be able to go get your prescription and purchase a pair of glasses, do the try-on without leaving your house. So the optician comes to you, you're able to reserve that. It's in the comfort of your own home. And this is another way of just, maybe for people with reduced mobility or on a busy schedule, or maybe they just don't have a car, you have the service come to you. I think this is a really interesting idea. They're promoting this a lot in France. They have ads running on the TV and really creating a concept around the opticians coming to your house. So I think this could draw parallels in tons of ways with fashion, for try on at home, in luxury for a personal boutique setting within your house. Anyways, a great example of home visits. More classically, Sephora with beauty lessons. Sephora is really a leader in omnichannel personalization. They have both services in store and online, but in store, these beauty lessons, these are generally paid services that people sign up for. It's a 90-minute experience where you come in. Your brands are able to capture zero-party data because You're figuring out their skin type, what they're looking for. Is this just for a casual routine or for makeup for a special event? And within this setting, you're able to have a beauty expert consult with you, give you tips, help you out. And then at the end, most of the time, the customer is leaving with products that were recommended, they're available in store. So another great example. The final one, adapted to our friends in luxury here with us today, DIOR, another one of our clients that uses Booxi to schedule personal shopping, right? So this is a classic example. It's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, in luxury, it's more obvious that appointment scheduling makes sense and offering these personalized services makes sense. The luxury vertical is really a pioneer of offering these personalized services and always going above and beyond what a fantastic customer experience can be. So it becomes, in a way, a no-brainer to really offer these personalized experiences. So if I didn't convince you enough already through those 5 use cases, and you're wondering, well, why is e-commerce personalization, not sufficient? Why do I need to implement personalized services? Well, let me give you 3 additional reasons to hammer the point home. Number 1, although people enjoy the ability to have self-service and to be able to shop online without needing to interact with somebody, 75% of people globally still want the ability to interact with a human, right? You don't want to force it upon people. You need to make it extremely simple for people to find the information they're looking for, to make a purchase and find all the information they need. However, when there's friction in the customer journey, when an issue arises where they can't find the information for whatever reason, or they have demands that go above and beyond what a digital experience can offer, this is where a brand needs to make it really easy to be able to connect with a real person. And globally, we see it at 75%. When asked if I want to interact with a real person more as technology improves, a resounding 3/4 of people say yes. Less so in Asian countries, more so in the West, with Germany being at the highest. Reason number 2, well, it's really the flywheel effect, right? The more it's proven that personalization really impacts the purchase rate, repurchase rate, and recommendations rate. This applies both for simply e-commerce personalization as in-person personalization. So let's say personalization as a whole. But personalization in store really has that additional impact of creating the emotional link to the brand, to a person, a real person, human to human commerce, so to speak. And well, we see it with our clients, but the numbers show that purchases increased by 76%. We see up to 90% actually conversion rate following a personalized service, repeat purchase rates at 78%, and recommendations rates at 78%. So by having that flywheel effect, that's what leads to loyalty, right? You want your customers to not only become customers, but to become fans of your brand and eventually become ambassadors of your brand. And by really tailoring their experience to them, you're able to achieve these results and really have ambassadors at the end of the day. And the third reason, personalized services are a fantastic strategy for retailers and something that differentiates it from e-commerce personalization is the ability to capture rich zero-party data. So it's obvious to say that personalization starts with data, right? You need data to be able to personalize your customer's experience. With e-commerce personalization, this is generally with first-party data. So by analyzing how your customer interacts with your digital platforms, seeing which products they look at, seeing where they're clicking, how much time they're spending on a certain page, which categories they're looking, you're able to figure out, okay, well, they're more interested in shoes or shirts, They have been selecting, size medium. Well, they're generally a medium for their clothes purchases or whatnot. So that's generally more implicit information that brands are able to capture simply based on interactions your customers have. What's great about personalized services is the ability to capture zero-party data that your customer is willing to tell you because you're offering them value in return. So that comes to the value equation, right? Customers know their data is valuable, then they're not going to tell a brand whatever, whenever. A lot of people are hesitant even just to give their email or phone number to a brand, right? So imagine a beauty retailer wants to know the skin type of their customer. It's very hard to just implicitly figure this out based on browsing information. However, if you're offering a beauty consultation in store and you ask them when they're booking their appointment, well, what type of skin type do you have? Is it oily? Is it dry? Is it fair? Your customer will be way more likely to answer that question because, one, they know they're receiving an appointment, and two, it's going to help the experts better serve them. So it's really the perfect point in the customer journey to collect the zero-party data, and brands can be very creative at this point to be able to collect really powerful insights that could then be added to their customer profile and serve them for the rest of the customer journey. On top of that, during the service itself, the person giving the personalized service can then enter notes after the appointment to add on, or them even enter a survey to be able to augment the information that was captured at the beginning, to be able to complement it with what was learned during the personalized survey. So let's think of the optician, right? Figuring out their prescription, for example, and just adding that to the profile. That's something pretty basic that, just is logical. But having that is really a powerful way of having a better 360 view of your customer. All right. So I hope all this you're convinced, and you're telling yourself, great, I have an idea of how this could work for my brand, but where do I start? This seems ambitious. Well, let me break it down to you once again with 3 simple steps. All right. Number 1, it's pretty basic, but it's identifying areas in your customer journey where you could improve. We could always improve, either because there's friction in your customer journey and you see that customers are well, if it's online, they're bouncing, they're not converting, or where you could delight them. Okay, the experience is fine, but how could I bring it to another level to really make it memorable? So this is simply an analysis of seeing where it might be very obvious, it might be more discreet, but where you could improve and where, well, there's really problems to be fixed. Once again, this is with the logic of how a human can fix this problem, not necessarily with technology. If technology could simply fix it, great. But this is really more of a focus on where a human interaction will really benefit the customer. Number 2, okay, we figured out these different points. Now, which services could solve these problems, and how do they align with my brand? This is really a brainstorming exercise, but how could we be creative and find services that really fit with our brand ethos? So once we look back at the use cases, right, I think the doggy wash is a great example. It makes tons of sense. The ear piercing is more of a stretch. When I heard that, I was flabbergasted. I found it was extremely creative and a value seller with ear piercing. I didn't make the connection at first, but it makes sense for who their customer profile is, right? 12 to 17-year-olds. That's a moment where they won't get their ear pierced. They're able to offer that service and bring a lot of value. So some of them might be pretty straightforward, and you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Personal shopping or a virtual consultation for your products, already that is a great start. But are you able to be creative and bring another layer to your services to really make it fit with your brand? And then number 3 is, okay, let's offer these services, but at scale. So you're able to roll out services relatively simply, right? You could just announce it on your website, tell your staff about it and roll it out. But you have 1,000 stores across multiple geographies. How do you do that? That's where it becomes tricky, because retail is very complex in that while you have massive booking volumes, that you have to manage the complexity of different locations with different staff, different resources, and different services, maybe all with different times. You need some time intervals between them. It's really the at-scale part that becomes tricky. And, well, that's where something like Booxi comes into place. So we're an appointment scheduling software for retailers, really specialized for retail in order to manage that complexity. So what makes us special, there's like 400 plus appointment scheduling softwares out there, but Booxi, we're really the most scalable platform. And we've built that logic in because retail has that specificity that it needs to be able to grow with your brand and really adapt to booking volumes, to be able to adapt to the reality of international retailers. I was mentioning that retail complexity in terms of all the different elements that go into scheduling an appointment. It's not just booking an appointment one person with the customer. There's really many variables involved, and you need a solution that's able to bring all that into the mix and personalize it. So that's really our strength. And on top of that, we have agility and security there, where with Booxi what's really great and that's appreciated by our customers, you're able to start like very small, very simple. We have a booking widget that's able to deploy on your website very easily, and you're able to start taking appointments in under a week. Or you could go more complex and roll it out over time with our APIs and connectors to really create a robust appointment scheduling program that's connected to your whole ecosystem, to your CRM, to your POS, and really create something really incredible and a next level customer experiences. I just want to end on this. It's a way to think of appointment scheduling more than just the appointment, but really offering end-to-end experiences. We do this with our partners like Bamboozer for live shopping, where, you could schedule send an RSVP for your live shopping, but what if we expose that and go even further? So you have an RSVP for your live shopping. We send out an automatic reminder that's personalized to every person tuning in. You show up to your live shopping event and it's detected that, nothing was purchased during this live shopping. No problem. A personalized email is then sent out with a call to action to book a one-on-one virtual consultation with the stylist that was there maybe, or another expert. Where if they then sign up, you'll probably see around a 90% conversion rate in that one-to-one experience. Maybe the group event just got their attention, but they didn't feel confident to make the purchase. But then in the one-to-one setting, they'll make that purchase. So it's really that whole experience block, like I like to call it, or a conversion journey where you send out a abandoned cart email with a call to action to be able to come in store and try it on. So the call to action, it opens up the booking widget. The nearest store to them is already pre-selected with their products also in the back end selected. So the products are automatically put on hold once they book. They show up to the store. They have a personalized welcome. They have a fitting room reserved for them. They have a stylist waiting for them with their products already there, ready for them to try on. So it's really that whole flow that I find is really powerful, and it gives brands some more ideas versus just like one moment. But how could we really create these amazing customer journeys that really feel 100% tailored to me? So that's everything I wanted to discuss today. I hope this gave you some ideas, some inspiration. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. And if you have any questions, we're happy to take them now. So thank you everyone. And thank you Stéphane and Altavan for having me.
Thank you so much, Nicolas. I think it was extremely interesting. I think that if we summarize everything you've been telling us, it is important to have the capability to personalize the offer and to have a frictionless journey for the customer. But you need to have the proper tool in order to have a proper acquisition journey and convert once the customer is there into proper conversion. So I see that we have a question. Okay, so the question is, does Booxi have a ratio of orders versus appointment?
Ratio of orders versus appointment. So I'm guessing this deals with conversion rate, I would assume.
I guess, yes.
So what we generally see is a 90% up to a 90% conversion rate. It really depends on the vertical and the service that is offered. But when it's in fashion, let's take the example, or luxury, when it is a one-to-one stylist or personal shopping session, you're seeing around a 90% conversion rate, because the customer is coming in with an intention, right? If they're booking that service, they have that intent. And same thing for a expert consultation appointment. Take it for a camera store. If you're booking an appointment because you're looking to buy a camera and you're then going to a store to speak to somebody, well, your intent is already there. There's just something blocking the customer from making that purchase. But by offering them the ability to schedule, well, one, you're capturing them into your ecosystem versus them going to a competitor. And then two, you're able to answer their questions. But in their mind, most customers already pre-shop, right? You're pre-shopping, you already have an idea of what you want to buy, but then sometimes you just want to speak to somebody to comfort you and validate the research you've already done. So the conversion rates are extremely high, and the basket sizes are also much higher. Because you have that personalized experience, we see a basket size at least at 2x. In lower priced items, we've seen up to 7x basket size. So the results are pretty outstanding for when you have that one-to-one experience.
Excellent. We have another question, which is, does the app bring flexibility to cosmetic retailer regarding the schedule of employees?
Yeah, absolutely. So I didn't speak about the operational side. I really focus more on the strategic side of appointment scheduling. But operationally, of course, Booxi actually started out for SMBs. So for hair salons, for tattoo shops, really individual businesses that need to schedule appointments as a operational need to run their business. So when we think of cosmetic retailers, well, we work with L'Oréal, SEPHORA, Clarins, and they appreciate Booxi because it makes them way more efficient, right? They're able to manage their workforce in a more efficient way, know when to address peak times and have more people on staff to be able to schedule those appointments, and dedicate time to their VIP customers, because whoever's scheduling an appointment is generally a customer with more intent, and you really want to have your sales associates or your beauty associates available to them.
Perfect. I have also another question for you. I'm sure that a lot of our listeners are wondering, is the solution compatible with any type of e-com or available on the market? Does it require any specific customization, or is it like a plug and play?
So yeah, it doesn't matter the platform you're on. You're able to use Booxi. It's really plug and play. If you just start with our widget, it's really one line of code that you enter in your website, and you're able to get started. So it's very, very simple. If you want to bring it to a step higher, we have an API available to really customize it and create your own custom interface. This is really, you could explode in any way you want and create your own booking interface. But if not, just with the booking widget, it's white labeled, it's extremely customizable to arrange the booking flow as you want, and yeah, branded to your brand. So super easy to get started.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Nicolas. If we don't have any other questions, I think that we will finalize the webinar now. I want to thank you again so much for spending the time with us. I know it's early for you, very early. Thank you for this, and I am sure that we will have many different questions coming up soon after this webinar, and I hope to hear from you guys very soon.
Amazing. Thank you, Stéphane. Thank you, everyone. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out or connect with me on LinkedIn, Nicolas Balvo. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.